Say what's happening with VJ, the brother from the ancient mother, and it's another Headspace African hip hop review. That's what we're doing. This is the channel where we focus on the active movements going on in hip hop continentally. We're based in South Africa, so a lot of it is South African content, but best believe this is a focal point on how Africans have engaged and negotiate and constantly try to evolve within the context of this beautiful culture we call hip hop. Now, today's review is something that kind of leans into the history of South African hip hop because it focuses on a city that has classically been known to be one of the most important growth points of South African hip hop, none other than Johannesburg. Now, the thing about Gauteng is that it's a place that, because of its kind of primordial hip-hop mold, has a lot of MCs who feel fundamental to what the game has been and continues to be in this country. And a lot of them have offshoots of disciples and people, and there's a whole movement. And one of these movements in Joburg rap is this brand of lyricism that is rooted in the circle, the cypher, MCs being grimy, MCs truly rapping for each other more than anything else, MCs being focused on their literacy and their verbal capacity to be able to convey true elite MCing to other MCs. And Shynin Armour is an artist who comes as an offshoot of that kind of hip hop, and he takes out a project here with Overkill Twist, and it's called Ezase Ndofaya. And the interesting thing about Shynin Armour and the legacy of where he comes from is he is this rapidy rap kind of an artist. He does focus primarily on the bars. When I say the bars, he focuses on the linguistic tricks. He focuses on the shifting and the moving of the modular vocal tones. He focuses on the cadence. So he is a spoken word artist. And a lot of spoken word art doesn't quite translate into actually good music. And this is the part that makes rap such a beautiful yet delicate art form, is that it's one thing to rap, but it's another to try to make music out of it. Because when you rap, you don't necessarily have to be rapping to anything. It's simply a connection of the beat within you and understanding how to adapt different pockets in different situations to tap into a mood. Now, Shynin Armour has all of those qualities. Somebody who you can hear it in the pitch of his voice is seasoned. This man is smooth around his corners. He knows how to dip and dab into different pockets, and he's actually got a really broad projecting voice. So the one thing that you really can't front on is mans can rap. But then comes that thing again. Translating that into actual music involves, number one, learning how to take your subject matter outside the context of an imaginary whack MC. So that means the metaphors, the similes, the onomatopoeia, the assonance, all of it, the stylistic haikus, the limericks, it all has to now be for more than just the adoration of your skill by people who appreciate that. Making music now is tapping into the human experience. And when you rap about the human experience, it doesn't essentially need metaphor. It doesn't need punchlines. So translating rap into music is going from being focused on the literacy to focused on the narrative. And I feel this is what Shynin doesn't quite reach to yet. His raps don't convey a broader narrative. They're still in a space where it sounds pretty much like cypher raps. I mean, it opens up with the Sotra cypher freestyle. And as a result, it kind of still goes into this mold where it just feels like I'm in a cypher, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a whole bunch of dudes around, just dudes, no women. And they're all kind of wearing hoodies and grabbing their crotches and appreciating each other's skill. And this is an amazing thing, because, you know, it's where these kind of spaces are one of the spaces where men, alpha males, like real warm-blooded gorilla to the bone kind of men learn to be empathetic and appreciative of each other. You know, rap is one of the few places where men get to truly big each other up from a very sincere place, and they get to be motivated by that. So as a result, niggas will protect it at any cost. But what it is it's a beautiful space for male love to emerge, and the camaraderie and the mutual admiration and respect that we have from becoming wordsmiths is an amazing thing. But it is in music. And if you're going to try and attempt to do something more than that, which it feels like Ezase Ndofaya is Shynin Armour's ode to his hood, so he's trying to speak of something broader than himself and his rap career. He's trying to speak to the small little pockets of what it means Ezase Ndofaya, and to occupy this place in Soweto that kind of is taken over by, you know, the historical township frequency of living in the context of struggle, yet still finding a way to triumph over it. Shynin Armour is aiming at these themes, and it doesn't quite hit them on the mark because, one, the production is super flat. These beats are monotonous as fuck. They all just feel like dry loops that just go over and over and over. And one of the key points in song making and songwriting is the life of an instrumental. It needs to be born. It needs to have moments where it wanes, it comes up. The mixing and mastering feels very limited. It doesn't open up a scope where you listen to this music and you feel like the worlds that are depicted are there. It's truly just very flat and very conscripted, and as a result it feels choked. It feels like an artist who's literally just circumscribing the circumference of their whole identity into the cipher, and as a result it doesn't make for good music. It is at best a great celebration of cipher wordsmanship in the South African context, but what it is not is a good musical piece. It just isn't music because it doesn't resonate melodically. The beats are not fine-tuned in a way that is broad and is delicate and incorporates different keys and notes, and because of that, what it is just rap. And it's one thing to appreciate the rap, but it doesn't go alone. The rest of this project kind of falls flat, and not even Shynin Armour's gritty and bouncy flows can save this album. Also because it's longer than it needed to be. It kind of achingly stretches, and I feel that because I think Man's had a lot to say about where he comes from. But again, the canvas that was painted for him just could not allow this to happen. I think this would have been a more successful project had it taken the direction of what the Assembly did with their project, had it taken the direction of what artists who have been aided by the production skills of people like Manans and Herb Cut the Lights have achieved. This, again, wave of boom bap revivalism, which takes the tenets of what we all love from that golden era classical rap and transcends it in a way that is truly and utterly musical. It does not happen on this project. So as a result, I feel like Shynin Armour betrays himself. He ends up betraying the concept and ultimately the music, because what it is just a kind of an ego trip where he just goes showing us how good he is at rapping, but the kind of footnote is that be that as it may, he's not very good at music. And so because it's rap music, the two have to converge in a delicate symphony that allows for you to be able to really, you know, reach the rap fan, but also the musical fan. So as a result, I've gotta give this one a 3, because all it truly does is remind us of what those of us who've been paying attention to this brother know. He's good at rapping, but now we know more. We know that he's not so good at actual music, and the tenets of actual music, again, is rap that strives to go beyond the technical prowess and focuses on narrative. And by focusing on narrative, it's able to open itself up to speaking directly to human experiences instead of being more preoccupied around coming up with interesting and witty punchlines for their heads to go ooh and ah. My name is Viwe, the brother from the ancient mother. These reviews are in critique of artist intent. And I think with this, Shynin Armour wanted more than the cipher, but all he gets is the cipher. And if you're gonna go beyond that, I think this review could have some key elements for him, because honestly, as a fan of both rap and music, I'm passionate about how those two come together effortlessly. And I think it all involves production quality that speaks to broad tones that are there to emphasize melody and help rappers do things like write interesting hooks and speak to people in a language that doesn't feel foreign to them. So yeah, it's all hip hop, it's all rap, it's all love.